you know, and you hit 300 in baseball, you're a good player. You have a bad day as an athlete on fight day, and everybody's like, oh, he's a bum, or oh, he's no good. It just happens some days, you know. I mean, so you do have a fight coming up soon. I'm sorry, Scott.
Oh, I think we do care about records, but if you're a true fight fan, I know who you thought.
Right.
That's just how it works.
You got to keep.
Derek, do you say you have a fight coming up?
Actually, no, I don't. I think towards the end of the summer I'll probably fight. But I actually just got back from the Arnold's, and that was the first jiu-jitsu tournament I've done.
Tell us about that. Was that fun? Did you have a great time?
You know, overall I had a good time. The people that were there, for the most part, the people that you competed with were really friendly. So that, you know, even though it was a long day, you could sit around and kind of joke with them.
How many matches did you have?
I had 8 actually.
8 matches.
Yeah, I was in the 155
One day?
division. Yeah, I was pretty tired.
That's a lot of matches.
How much do you weigh?
I dropped down to 159 so I could make that weight. And to be honest, I felt like one of the smaller, weaker guys in the division. So there were some big cutters in there. But
the Arnold's is something we talk about frequently here at GroundCon. But really, I've never been. Have you been?
Jay's been.
Jay's been.
Jay's been
You've been, right?
Yeah, actually, I mean, the Arnold's is really
one of the top tournaments.
It is the top tournament in the Midwest. Really, we all hate it. You know, it's one of those tournaments where you know you're going to sit there. I competed at 10 o'clock at night one year. That was the year that Jay was up there. That, you know, one day I competed at noon, the next day I competed at 10 o'clock at night. The tournament, the last guy to get off the mat was at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's 1,200 competitors trying to cram matches in one day. Is it a great event? For one reason, the competition is tough. You know, the best schools in the country, Midwest at least, want to prove who's the best that day.
Right.
And that's why, you know, we send the guys there. You know, we try, what's good is we have some very competitive schools here in St. Louis, you know, Jay's and Bobby affiliations and ours. We can really, you know, beat each other up, have some good tough fights, and still like each other.
You know, how was St. Louis represented overall in your opinion?
I think it's way underrated. You know, from a standpoint of not only is jiu-jitsu, MMA.
Are they able to show that off at the Arnold's?
They are. You know, you look at the top guys. I mean, we're still behind. There's no doubt about it. You know, it's the progression of the coasts.
Right.
Midwest is always a little slower, but we're constantly, you know, picking up steam. Whenever one of my guys can go out and place in the top 2 or 3 in the world in a jiu-jitsu tournament, the world championships, then you know that the competition in the Midwest is still going.
Right.
You know, we're right there at the top level. And you only do that by going out and learning, though. I mean, you got to go, you don't train with the same guy and stay stagnant.
That's a beautiful thing that I've heard many times on this particular show.
Yeah.
As soon as you go into a club and somebody beats your ass, do you leave or do you say, what has that guy got that I don't know?
Exactly.
That's the important part.
To the Arnold's? You know what? We actually probably only had maybe
that's a lot. That's a lot.
But for our academy, that's not much. I mean, we usually bring an army. There's an ego tournament in Indiana that we usually bring 25 or 30. It depends on the dates. You know, we're all busy people. So to get a weekend to get everybody else, we've won just as a team a lot of tournaments because we can bring a good, solid group to the Arnold's. I think bringing 12 people, we still placed 5th or 6th in the Midwest. So, you know.
So who did the best out of your group?
Jennifer.
Okay, so she took first place in the blue belt and first place in the expert no-gi.
Oh,
yeah. So
we're gonna have her and Tyler.
Go female fighters.
There you go.
That whole no-gi thing, right? Did anyone else place her?
Yeah, actually, I think that we had most of the guys place first, second, or third.
Oh, very
He put up his hand. Say it.
You had 8 matches. How many did you win?
I got 3rd in the no-gi, and then I lost my 3rd place match in the B division, so I didn't get another 3rd. Which it sucks. It's like we were so close to get. I wanted to
that's
have
always
any
a
match
5th,
back.
right?
That's when I won.
It's a typical.
I got 4th.
Fourth?
So the fact that you got
You had 8 matches and you won how many?
I won 5 and 3 for the day. 3 and 1 in the no-gi, and then 3 and 2 in the B.
Well, see, and the amount of experience you got in just this one tournament is priceless. I mean, 8 matches is a lot, you know, and you got to fight people you don't usually deal with. And
well, that's what you asked me about if I had a fight coming up. It's actually, but this time I kind of just want to focus on jiu-jitsu tournaments because there were times. I mean, I know stand-up wise because I've done that a lot longer. I'm comfortable there. But there were times when I went down to the ground. I was afraid to go for moves, and I was afraid to open up. So I was like, you know, that's what I want to learn on. I want to get my game better. And just doing that tournament showed me so many things that I need to work on. So, you know, that's why I want to focus on the tournaments and focus on getting my game better. And that's why I go to school. So,
How many Gracies were there that
competing?
No, it was all together. That was the biggest lineup I've ever seen in the Gracie's when I was there.
Well, it's changed a lot. The Helson has actually been like kicked out of the.
Oh.
Yeah, which is a good thing. Which is, I'm nothing. I love Helson and I love all all the brothers, but Helson wasn't a good promoter of the tournament from our standpoint. He wasn't hands on. So NAGA, which is basically the biggest North American Grappling Association, took that tournament over, and it went from, I think 2 years ago, the entries were like 500. Only 500 people showed up. This year, I think it's supposed to 12 or 1300. So 1,500.
Yeah, it was huge.
So I mean, and they get it done in a day, and then the UFC's that night. So it's a really, if you've never been, go. It's a spectacle, and it's a really cool.
And that's only 2% of everything that's being offered at that show.
Gosh, yeah, it's crazy.
Kettlebell contest,
Right.
cheerleading contest, arm wrestling contest.
It is the Arnold Schwarzenegger, classic. I mean,
It's
anything
the classic.
that's physical, they have it up
Mr.
there.
Universe and Mr. UFC,
Strongman competitions,
Strongman.
I was in there last year.
Guys, we're going to change things up just a little bit here. Rob and Derek, we're going to ask you to let Steve and Lori take those seats, but we want you to stay in the room. You can even stay right behind them because we're just going to open up our conversation here a little bit. I brought a subject for the day.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Subject for the
Be
day.
prepared for the subject for the day.
All right.
Steve, that's why I wanted you to step up here. Scott, I definitely want your input here too, because as a promoter, I think you'll have good input. JWJ, I want to know what you guys think about this. How often? And we're
Twice.
talking- What are you talking about? No, go on, Jim. It's more interesting. How often should and we're talking MMA specifically here at this point, how often should a fighter fight in an MMA tournament? And I know that's going to vary. We got a lot of factors involved here, but what are some of the factors? Steve, we'll start with you. How long do you think a fighter should have in between a fight? Tough question.
Well, it's not a tough question. It's just it's almost a case-by-case basis. It really depends. In general, if I have guys that are having quality fights, we call a quality fight something 2 to 3 rounds, where they don't get dinged up other than normal scrapes and stuff like that, I don't mind turning them around within about 3 weeks, but I do like to let them cycle down a little bit. They're going to have bruises. They're going to be sore. It's not the same. I don't care how hard you train. It's not the fight. I prefer 4-week turnaround.
A month is a good time.
I'll do 6 weeks, even if they got dinged up a little bit. And 8 weeks is pretty much, if you had a 3-round fight, you're taking some dings, and you got cut up a little bit, 8 weeks you're ready. Unless you've had some sort of head issue. Okay? Let me just put that into play there. Assuming no joint damage or anything like that, if one of my guys gets knocked out, for instance, I won't actually let them train, even begin to train, usually about 30 days.
Now, when they get into a fight, you want them to fight at peak performance. So is that the reason for giving 3 weeks? Because they might have had a 30-second fight. Aaron, how long did his fight last?
Well, that's why I put a disclaimer on that. I mean, a quality fight meaning a 2 to 3 round fight.
But
If you fight
even if they
30
have
seconds, you can fight again in 2 weeks.
Are they going in that 30 seconds? Are they still going to expend a fight energy that they wouldn't expend in training? That they're still if they try to fight next week, that they're not going to be at the level they were to fight the week
You
before?
train as hard as you want.
how
When
do
you
you
walk
feel
in
when
your gym, 1,000 people on a yelling scream, you're not completely wide awake, and the other guy's not really trying to kill you. So the 30 seconds
Hey,
is still alive.
just from last week, man, how do you feel?
I'm 42. Let's take that into account, all right? But I have to tell you,
You competed last week
I
in a stick
competed
in a stick fight.
tournament. It was a 3-minute fight, but it was also a 3-minute fight where they stopped. So we got 3 pure minutes of fighting.
Yeah,
If the referee stopped it, the clock stopped. So it was like the next day. I haven't hurt. I can't remember when I hurt like that. And it was just and it was a good kind of hurt. Okay, because I felt really satisfied about it. But except for where James kicked me. There's nothing
Props to
satisfying.
James.
You know what?
There's
I
nothing satisfying
will
about
add
it.
one more detail too. When I say 2 weeks on a 30-second fight, I mean to be at your best. You can fight sooner than that, but to have yourself be on your game again, ready to perform at your best,
It's a mental
it's about a
thing.
14-day thing just to cycle back.
Yeah.
You're ready to go.
I think some of the nervous energy and everything else comes into play.
Well, you're focused